You shut down small businesses and you close down schools and you mask your children up. That's doing so much psychological and physical damage to them. It's unbelievable. It's a crime against humanity to mask these children, and we have to stop it right now. So thank you so much for showing up.
Where are you guys? That recognize the supremacy of God. So we're out here because some people are not recognizing God's supremacy. And I'll leave the rest of my talking to later. We'll just say a prayer. God, we thank you this afternoon for the privilege we can be together here as the human family. We thank you, Lord, that you care for each one of us, Lord. Our freedoms, Lord, are essential, Lord, and you care about them too. We pray that you would bless this assembly, bless our time together, help us to be leaving here encouraged and determined to keep standing for the rights that you have given to humanity. We pray one more time you would be with us this afternoon. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
We are in a war.
There is no question we are in a war. It's not a traditional war. It's a digital war. It's an information war. And it's a spiritual war. It's a war in defense of the values we cherish. As RB mentioned, the values of freedom, liberty, justice, equality under the law, and prosperity. Those values, Western civilization values, values founded by Christianity, are under attack. They are under attack by a globalist entity that wants to centralize power at the UN. That's what all of this is about. It's what climate change hoax was about, and still is. It's what COVID is about. You know, I'm standing at a Vimy memorial. A memorial to remember Canadian soldiers who were tasked to take a mountain or a ridge in Europe where others had failed, to the tune of 100,000 people. And our Canadian soldiers stormed that ridge, had 10,000 casualties, 3,500 dead, but they won that battle. They won that battle not just for Canada, they won that battle for the world. They won that battle for freedom. That's why I hold this place as sacred ground. This is what we're defending. This is what we're defending. Look at all you beautiful people with your smiles, acting like humans. God, I love you. And there are thousands upon thousands across this great country and across the world, throughout Western civilization, that are doing exactly the same thing today as we are. And we stand with them. Yes, this attack is against Canada and our values, but it's also an attack on other countries throughout Western civilization. And they're standing and they're growing across the world. This movement is going to win. Because freedom always wins. You know, these globalists, they consider humanity to be the enemy of the planet. Not my words, theirs. What they fail to understand and what they completely underestimate is the spirit of humanity. That's why we're here today. That's why we're across this country. That's why we're around the world. To show the rest of our brothers and sisters, the rest of humanity, that freedom means more than anything. I will die for freedom. There are pastors in Canada right now. There's one that's still in prison for simply exercising his rights under the Charter. That man is our leader. That man is courageous. He took his principles and his conviction, and he took the consequences for standing up for them. That's an example we need to all follow. I mentioned the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. We have a poster here showing those freedoms. You know what? That's just a piece of paper. It doesn't mean anything unless we decide to defend what it states. We come first. We have to defend those rights that are inherent. They weren't given to you. You were born with them. And we have to defend them. Now, in the eyes of the court, they're going to use that document. Fair enough. We're glad that it exists. But it's only as powerful as the people who defend it. Wow, I still got a couple minutes. I could be up here all day. But I'll close, and I just want to thank each and every one of you folks for, you know, it takes a certain amount of courage. There's been people on this site for 8, 9, 10 months, every weekend, doing what we do. And we understand the courage that it takes and the consequences that are built in. We get it, we do it. But for you folks to be here, it takes an amount of courage as well. It is strength in numbers, you're 100% correct. So I greatly appreciate each and every one of you coming here. We all share, and this is the thing that the governments want, the globalists want, they want division. They want to divide us by race. They want to divide us by color. They want to divide us by sex. They want to divide us by prosperity or levels of income. They want to divide us by any means possible, by English or French. There are a set of values, regardless of all our differences, that we share. And we need to unite under those values. In the short term, once we regain those values, once we defend those values, we can go back to fighting the petty stuff. But these values of freedom, liberty, justice, equality under the law, and prosperity are values we all share. And we have to unite around those values. If we do that, we will win. We will take back our nation. We will take back our security, our liberty, our freedom, our prosperity, and the equality built within, and we can carry on. Until then, we're in a battle. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for showing up. I love you.
All right.
I was about 10 miles away from here when I saw y'all standing on this lot. I only have 5 minutes, so I thought about what was important to say. If it was the last 5 minutes I had, what would I tell you? I'd tell you it's time to fight. I'd tell you that what we're seeing is not just some happenstance. What we're seeing is a direct attack against our sovereignty. I just went over and read the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. We have the right to freedom of conscience, and yet we're forced to wear masks. We have the right to freedom of religion, and yet in British Columbia, we haven't been able to attend church for months. Not one person under the age of 30 has died. 65 people under the age of 60 have unfortunately passed away from COVID. Does anybody have a glass of water we can communally share? Does anyone trust me? Okay. It's brand new. We love you too. It's welcoming. I'll try to blow the horn when I'm done here. We'll see if I can, okay? All right. When I understand that what we're seeing is the shutdown of our freedom, of our sovereignty, of our desires, of our will, of our dreams, then you know that something else is happening. When people from Poland, and for some reason I keep meeting a lot of people from Poland, and Art Bilowski's here, that's one of the people that they'll tell you, they've seen communism close up. I got to admit something, I was too busy. I had a national television job, I was drinking lattes, buying new clothes, fake hair, fake nails, fake eyelashes. Also, I could be real for Jesus on TV. And then I started seeing that there are some ideologies that are coming into our nation. And I found out that if you dare to speak against the idol in the land, you will be forced to face the furnace. We've come to that time. We've come to that place. I was in the courthouse in British Columbia yesterday. Many of you know my story in fighting sexual orientation and gender identity. Can I tell you? everybody from the LGBTQ community, you need to know something. In Canada, you can be gay, lesbian, heterosexual, polyamorous, pansexual. I don't know what it means, but you can be it. But let me tell you something. If you're gonna start messing with the kids, then you're gonna have to go through all the mothers and fathers. It's enough. There is a father in jail today. I am only allowed to call him CD. I am not allowed to tell you the doctors that put his daughter on testosterone at the age of 14. I'm not allowed to tell you a whole bunch of details, but this is Canada. And we've been told to be silent. So when this father has gone against the establishment, we have seen corrupt teachers, corrupt principals, corrupt social workers, activist judges, activist lawyers, activist doctors put his daughter on a path that she was not destined by God to be on. And now he's in jail, and he'll be in jail until April 12th. That will be his court hearing to find out if he spends 5 years in jail for his family being ripped apart. And then we're told that we're not allowed to talk about it. So you see, it's not just COVID, it's not just these tyrannical lockdowns, it's the fight against our families. And I've come to understand.
I remember you, man.
The World Health Organization, the same time she was working for us. She had signed confidentiality agreements with them. So what was she not telling us? The Prime Minister and the Health Minister should be fired. And we shouldn't apologize for standing up for Canadians. And I know that Laura Lynn and all the other speakers today aren't ashamed to be a Canadian. I'm not. I'm not ashamed to be a Christian. I'm not ashamed to stand up for the common sense values that made our country great. And, you know, one thing that I've always said is, for me, I never got into politics to have a nice, long, cushy career. And in fact, some may say my career is rather short. But I also said that I got into this to fight for Canadian freedom, whatever the cost. And, you know, even if it cost me my career or it cost me something else. And now, you know, I wasn't, you know, just saying that. You know, it wasn't empty words. And, you know, we've seen the political parties in Canada, all of them. Liberals, of course, but conservatives, too. They've been silent. They've been silent on these lockdowns. All of them, federal, provincial. And COVID-19 has been the great awakener. It's showing us the true colors of the political establishment. And all of these parties have been silent on lockdowns. They've been silent on the detention of people at secret facilities, silent on pastors going to...
I will have to be louder and longer. I'll just bring this fire a little bit closer to you. Are you ready to be on fire? It's good. Okay. Whatever I touch, I sometimes destroy. Which is a good thing, because lots of things in this country need to calm down. I don't know if you've heard, we started to do something that has become very dear to my heart. It's called Jericho March. Jericho March is a powerful story from the Bible with Joshua when he was 80 years old and his buddy Caleb, he was 85, and they just began their ministry. So please do not tell me you're too young. Do not tell me you're too old. Do not tell me you're not educated enough, because the story starts with Moses that gave only excuses to God. He said, I cannot speak. Find somebody else. Caleb and Joshua could say the same thing. Find somebody else, I'm too old. I say to you Canadians, it's time to push all those excuses aside and start doing what we are called to do, which is to fight for our country. To stand up for our rights. As you can tell, and I'm not hiding it, I grew up under communist dictatorship in Poland, behind the Iron Curtain. I've witnessed what man is capable of. My grandparents survived the Nazis. And I always heard the stories of what the Hitler wannabe dictators did, what a Gestapo did, what the SS did, but also heard the stories what the KGB and the communists and socialists did. And I'm telling you, it's not pretty. So some people are angry with me. Some say you're too rough. You call the police Nazis. You call them KGB. You call them SS. Listen to me, people. When you act like Nazi, I will call you a Nazi. Police officers' job is one, to serve and protect me and you. The moment they step aside from what their mandate is, they have become somebody else, something else. And that creature, that hybrid needs to be stopped. That's why I call them for what they are. Nazis! They will come to my house during the night hours, interrupt my family time, intimidating my children in the middle of my dinner, where I am in the middle of the night in my pajamas. And believe me, I do not look too good in pajamas. So that makes my wife worried, because then I don't look too good on camera. Because she knows I'm going to grab that camera and record. So she says, put something on, police is here. She's not worried they came to arrest you finally. She says, you don't look too good, put something on. So I have learned to survive everything, including my wife. And I'm telling you, I am as tough as a nail now. 30 years being her husband. Of course, you know that's a joke, right? If my wife is watching this, I am in a big trouble. I only fear two people. I have two bosses, one big one, my God, that I love dearly, and then I fear him, and then my wife, and I fear her as well. She may not be tall, but she is strong and powerful. And I'm telling you, I would not be able to do what I do if it was not for her. She stands with me and she says, off you go. If you don't come back, I'll pray for you. I would not be able to do what I do if I didn't have support of my wife, but also support of you. Just today, I think about 100 of you came to me and just thanked me for what I do. I want to tell you the same thing in return. Thank you for supporting people like me. Because without people like you, I would not be able to do what I do. So some people think I'm a politician. During our prosperous, the Bible says, and successful. Verse 9 nails it. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Canada, do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. In the Bible it's also saying, the one can do 1,000.
this last calendar year for sure, but even well before that, I have never had the pleasure of calling into another rally in another province. Thank you, Mark Friesen. Yeah, this is awesome. And following Pastor Pulaski as well too, it was always a hard act to follow. He could have kept that mic from me as well too for the next 10 minutes, and I would only just be saluting him. He's an absolute, he's a lion out there. Well, I hope you guys are all having. Without free speech, of course, we can't do what I just did today, what you guys are all there doing. You know, on and offline, we need to totally battle for our free speech. So every good platform, especially like, you know, the one that Mark Friesen runs there in Saskatchewan, that's all based in free speech as well, too. Needs 110%, as much support as possible. And, you know, if you can ever support the people that are out there doing citizen journalism, alternative media, starting free speech platforms, if you can ever help them out with even the price of a cup of coffee, I say do so. We had some wonderful donations given to Winnipeg Alternative Media from the crowd today. It's just amazing, because if one thing we need to make sure that we don't lose in this fight for our kids and this fight for our future is our free speech.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you just heard.
And the cancel culture is awful. After I pulled myself off the couch in the fetal position, I got up and I thought, I'm not going to cower any longer. So I started to blog, and I've had very blessed in my life to have had a good career in finance. 38 years in finance. I've lived in this province my whole life. I have 5 kids and 3 grandchildren, and I thought I need to do something for them and for your kids and for all the kids that are locked up with bloody masks on. And I had to do something for the elders. God bless the elders and the frail, locked up in concentration camps. And the only thing our doctors and our small businesses, and our communities, it's so sad. So I started to blog. And I've always enjoyed writing, and everybody said you got the grammar of a grade 8. And you know what? That's okay, because I'm having fun with it. And I have wrote 41 blogs in 3 months. In the course of that time, those blogs took a fork, and they evolved into an open letter to Premier Moe, Dr. Shahab, and all the MLAs in Saskatchewan. It's 23 pages. It's been signed by 90 of friends that Daryl Mills and I got within 8 hours to sign it. It was sent January 27th. It's been endorsed by 11 medical professionals that have went public, Stephen Malthouse being one of them. And Stephen. And in addition to probably another 30 that I have spoken to, chiropractors and everything else that I have spoken to, that will not go public, because in Saskatchewan they are scared of public backlash, and they are scared of losing their license, and they're scared of what's going to happen to them. They're in fear. And who in the hell should be scared of their government? That's ridiculous. The government have to be reminded that they are our employees. That's right. And I always believe that God, things happen to you for a reason, and God did not want me as a muted, or as a pastor in Ontario said, a castrated gelding. He did not want me to be muted in Regina. And I got many friends in the Sask Party. Well, I used to anyway, so I'm not sure if I do, because on my blogs I've been calling them out. And I'm asking that we need heroes and not cowards. I wanted to say a little bit about Catherine McKennigan. She's the perfect politician, isn't she? No. She says, no, she is for today's world, for not for us, but for what maybe Scott Lowe would want. Like, I think the Sask Party wanted me out, so I'm not sure what happened there. I don't want to make accusations, but it was pretty trite what I got knocked out for. Let me put it that way. I think they thought I was
compromised.
I had too much of an opinion, anyways. But Catherine McKenna, she will do anything you do, ask her to do, and she has no idea what she's talking about. Perfect politician right now in today's world. But that's not what we want. We need to change the political system. But what I wanted to do was to provide a way that we could reopen our economy in 2 weeks and reopen our communities and get back to the normal life without counting on the bloody vaccine, because, you know, all trails lead to Rome, all trails lead to the vaccine. That's what this is all about. And I tell you that I also wanted to point out in that 23 pages that I worked with an immunologist from Eastern Canada that I cannot name because she, or he, anyways, there's lots of immunologists east of here. Okay, and she said you did a really good job, and I was really happy about that. Anyways, what I wanted to do was not just to complain about what they were doing, but to provide solutions. And so I followed up that, by the way, they have not got back to me at all. They have not one of them have looked at it. I've talked to 3 MLAs and they said, yeah, I skimmed it. I've lost a lot of friends. I've lost some family. Right? Oh, that's good. Okay, thank you. What I wanted to do is prevent a plan, 9 steps to normal, that countries are using. And thanks for pointing that out, because these are the countries that are using it. They're Greece, Germany, Costa Rica, Cuba, India, Morocco, Israel, Nigeria, Turkey, Russia, Brazil, Ecuador, Bolivia, Dominican Republic, South Korea, Algeria, Senegal, Ukraine, and about 50 others. Okay? I'll read you the 9 steps to normal. And then I'll get going because I know I've probably got more than 5 minutes here. Sorry. Number 1, health officials to accept that a healthy immune system is the best defense against a bug, including this one. When have you heard one health official tell you that you should take vitamin D? Or get exercise? Nothing. Why are they doing that? That's right. Well, I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't say, I don't know. I like to blog by asking questions and make people think. Because our school system, and that's a whole different thing that I can blog about another day, but well, they teach us what to think and not how to think, okay? Number 2, immediately let everyone know that a deficiency in vitamin D is common in Canada and makes one more susceptible to catching the virus. Explain and or mandate a daily dose of vitamin D, especially to the frail and elderly. Number 3, instruct all care homes to educate their occupants on the importance of vitamin D. And the government to make sure that ample supplies are procured and administered. Number 4 was to initiate instructions to physicians to commence using prophylactic treatments, including hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin where necessary. You know that when the World Health Organization came out in April and said, you guys can't use it, it was only Western Europe and North America that quit using it. Did you know that? And that's when the bodies started piling up in Italy. Italy was using hydroxychloroquine until April, and then their bodies started to pile up. Number 5, initiate instructions to physicians to commence early outpatient treatments using repurposed drugs, including the above-mentioned pharmaceuticals and many others mentioned in the open letter. I got all this stuff from people like Dr. Pierre Corey, Dr. Peter McCullough, Dr. Hardy Risch, and numerous others, Simon Gold. You guys know those names. Number 6, protect the most vulnerable according to the Great Barrington Declaration, signed over by 50,000 medical professionals. But they're all conspiracy theorists too. And reopen the economy, our communities, and mandate all freedoms be restored immediately. Split stick and 6-inch tube to
educating workers and whatnot. Confined space, H2S. I've been taking a lot of courses in masks, but that was, you know, I didn't take it to come up here and talk. I took it to work with guys that you know, my crew. And I said, when they told me that you're going to have to force your guys to wear not a mask, a cover. I said, like hell I do. We can't do that. So we argued for a while, and in the end I said, well, you know what, I got the answer. I'm going to retire. So I left my job July 10th, and this is what I do now. I come here and I talk to people. And when I talk to you, I get a lot of phone calls. I get a lot of people messaging me later saying, you know, our kids are in school wearing masks all day long. We can't have that. And no, we can't. You are the parent. You need to be the parent. You need to act like the parent. You need to contact your school, say they're not going to wear a mask. If the school is going to tell you, yes, they're wearing a mask, then you pull your kids out. Be that parent. You have the kids. It's your responsibility to raise them. It's your responsibility to protect them. Now you have a government that is attacking your kids. Be the parent. Stand up to the schools, stand up to the...
Masks have engineered breathing holes. Check your full face Halloween masks. Check your goalie masks. Check your respirators. Check your scuba masks. Those are masks. They have breathing holes engineered into them. If it doesn't have an engineered breathing hole, it is just an instrument of self-suffocation. We're going to grab the monitor. We're just going to do a quick test here so you guys can see the readings. So he's going to put the probe inside. He's going to stick the probe end inside his mask, and it's going to tell us the readings. Have you been able to see those readings? Okay, so what we're going to see is we're going to see decreases in oxygen and increases in carbon dioxide. And I'll tell you what, normal oxygen is 20.9%, and normal carbon dioxide is about 400%, 400 part per million, I should say. And you're going to see dramatic increases. I will tell you in a longer test that we've seen, in 2-minute tests, we're not going to test that long right now, but I will tell you in a 2-minute test, we've seen relative over 40,000 part per million carbon dioxide. It's hazardous at 1,000 part per million and higher. Oxygen is hazardous, below 19.5, and we see oxygen 70% after 2 minutes of wearing these things. And they're unsafe, and it does not matter at all what level of oxygen we are. Let's take a look. So we're seeing here, we're seeing lower oxygen right here, and we're seeing a reset here on carbon dioxide. So we're going to have to do that reset on the carbon dioxide, and so I'll just understand that we have incredible high levels, and the high levels are even too high for the way this monitor is set right now that it's detecting. So as it is right now, I just have to verbalize it to you and tell you that this is necessary. You have to take your mask off, stand your ground, and not wear these self-suffocating devices that they call masks, again, that aren't masks, but they really are just instruments of voluntary self-suffocation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This charade, should we call it a charade? I almost swore there. My biggest fight has always been for the kids, and anyone that knows me knows that that has always been my fight. I pulled my oldest out of public school 3 years ago because I saw this coming a mile away, including all the other agendas that are on the board for our kids. So I just want to ask every parent here to realize what your kids are actually going through. If you are sending them to school in a mask, please stop. Just please stop. Whatever you have to do. Please come out to these regular rallies. These guys are here every weekend. We're at Victoria Park in Regina every weekend. There's rallies all over the country right now that happen every Saturday. Please bring your children. They will never get any better schooling or history to remember than coming to a freedom rally. And now the lovely Jasmine.
Thank you, Saskatoon. How are we all doing? My name is Jasmine Grandel. I am a student at the University of Regina studying health promotion. Back in November, I watched some big names who are here today do some amazing patriotism. They went out, they protested, they did their work, and I knew I had to get involved somehow. So I'm so proud of you guys, especially the ones who's the first rally people. Congratulations on your first rally. This is a big one. Great job for showing up. Keep coming, keep coming. coming. We are the silent majority. We're the silent majority. We're all here. Anyways, I wanted to also give a big thank you to a woman who just went out of her way to make all of this happen, did all the phone calls, did all the organizing. We just love her. It is Grandma Donna. Get on up here.
So in honor of Miss Donna Todd, we have this amazing picture of the Vimy Memorial, signed by all of her faithful freedom fighters who have been out here every weekend with her in Regina and Saskatoon for the last 11 months. From the isolators, baby! And these are for you too.
Hey. I'm trying. I need more followers. We're gonna tag him on Instagram. We're gonna get his attention. But yeah, one of these days. So yeah, I'm from Edmonton. I go by the name of RC. And before I get started here, I just wanted to start with a fun fact of the day, if you will, with a pause, in a moment of remembrance for John Magufuli, the late great president of Tanzania. Now, some people know that he is the president of Tanzania, but what a lot of people don't know is that he has actually been the most successful politician. He's had the most successful COVID campaign in the entire world. In a nation of 60 million people, Tanzania has 21 people dead. Well, that's another topic. But not 21,000, 21 people. What was his strategy? Nothing at all. No lockdowns, no masks, but I think the most important part of his strategy was zero fear-mongering. And it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, that that is how you beat COVID-19. So with that said, this is my first song that I released in light of the pandemic. It's called The Virus. Let's get into it. Woo. Check, 1, 2. Whoever would have thought we could slip so far? The whole world locked down in a prison without bars. Suspicious of our neighbors, arguing with our friends. It's like we're counting down the days till society ends. But let's be honest, democracy died a long time ago. How long have we been spinning in space like a dynamo? Switching out one useless puppet for another actor. But the strings are all connected to the same puppet masters, infecting every screen with their propaganda cues. Staying out of view, watching from the pews, trying to keep us all inside where they pump us full of news. Only angles they approve, censoring the truth to make you think that I'm the enemy of our time, as if standing up for my freedom is some kind of flippant crime. So ask yourself, what's the bigger threat to humankind? The virus in the body or the virus in the mind? Days go by as we march to the ending. Those in control, you won't last. Start repenting. We know the truth. We won't fall for your
Canadians and our rights. This is real life. You are the leader in your community. You